sharing up my page. She didn't share up my page. Okay.
Do the pen. It's 100 people on go. Zoom in. Hi guys. Happy Friday. Happy TGIF. Thank you. I didn't do an introduction or close out last night because it was kind of hectic, but thank you guys so much for tuning in last night to our Lunar Suite Live with Miss Universe. Now, like we told you at the beginning of the year, our Facebook Lives were going to be more than just interviews and projects and events. We wanted to start bringing you content on various topics and being able to talk to different educational figures and things like that. So for our first Facebook Live that is outside our norm this year, we are going to do a Facebook Live with a tax expert from South Florida. So we are in her office right now. We're so happy she took time out of her busy schedule because it is tax season to actually meet with us and answer some questions. So if you haven't filed your taxes yet, you plan on filing your taxes, you're filing your taxes for the first time by yourself, or you're helping your parents or whatever, I have a tax expert here with us for the next couple of minutes. You can ask questions. As usual, leave your comments, leave your questions in the comments, and we will ask the questions while we do the interview. I'll be asking some questions that I've put together and questions I have, but you guys are free to interact and leave your questions, and let's find out as much as we can from our Haitian tax expert. So I'm not going to introduce her. I'm going to let her introduce herself, tell you guys who she is, and give us some background on her company, how long she's been doing this, what part of Haiti she's from, and the Haitian connection. So further ado, Kara.
Hi everyone. I am very excited to be here with Lunar Suite. Thanks for having me. So I hope you're having a great afternoon. My name is Karoll-Ann and I own a tax business. A little bit about me: I came from Haiti in 1999, not really knowing how to speak English. And I've been in this beautiful country for those past, that's what, 10, 16 years. And at one point, I realized that working for someone, this is not where I wanted to go, and I decided to go into business for myself. So I'm here in Miramar, Florida, but I'm licensed to do taxes in the whole United States. I have clients even in Haiti. That's me. I'm someone, I like to get the job done, and I like to educate people, because a lot of people, they give people to do their taxes and they don't explain nothing to them, and they're in the dark. Me, I want my client, I have something in the office. Once I did your tax once, you only come back to me because you don't want to bother, but you understand everything so well that you can do it yourself.
Awesome introduction. So you said you learned to speak English on your own. Was it after you got into business, or?
No, before.
Before?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think, like, before even getting into tax, what do you think is the great advantage that you speak English and Creole and you do tax? Because English, Spanish, Creole, no matter what, tax is confusing no matter what.
That is true.
So what do you think is an advantage? What is the advantage of the fact that you do speak English and Creole and you have Haitian clients, and making sure they understand it? Like, even with the text verbiage, are you still able to explain it to where they understand what they're doing?
Definitely,
or what you're doing?
Definitely. It's always better to hear it in your own language. And when I have Asian clients, I explain to them in Creole, and they're very happy to really understand, So I'm able to translate the tax code and explain to them taxes.
Okay, so why are you saying? So of course we already love you for that, for that part of it. So you're already one of our faves because you're Haitian.
Yes.
But I was reading online that it said that if you go to someone to do your taxes, there are a few questions that you should ask, like the tax preparer, and kind of make sure that they answer, make sure you know before you even start doing your taxes with them. So I have a few, but what do you think is the #1 question you get from new clients that come to you to do taxes?
Well, first of all, there's a lot of, I would ask if they have their PTIN, which is kind of the equivalent of having your license to be a tax preparer. Okay, so I would ask that, because there's a lot of people that doesn't know when they prepare their taxes, the tax preparer do not put their information in there, so it's like you did it yourself. And if you get in trouble, the IRS is looking at you like you did this yourself. So I would ask if they have a PTIN, which is their license, and I would ask them a few questions. So what status should I file, to kind of see if they keep up to date with the tax code.
Ah, nice. And like, as far as state, does it change per state? Like, when you're filing taxes, all the same requirements for state, or in Florida, if it's different, what are some of the requirements for the state of Florida when filing taxes that people should know if you're in Florida, or what to look for if you're not in Florida is different in other states?
Well, the thing is, the federal tax is one for the whole United States. So it doesn't matter in which state you are, your federal tax preparation is going to be the same. Now you also have some states that have state tax, for example, New York. So each state does have their own criteria. For example, in Massachusetts, they give them a deduction for rentals. So if they pay rent up to $6,000, they give them that deduction in their tax for the state. So when you live in a state where there is state tax, when the tax preparer do your tax, actually they do two tax. They do your federal tax and your state tax according to your state.
Oh, okay. And what documentations or things people should always have with them when they're coming to do their taxes?
Well,
because sometimes that line is long and you're in the lobby for 2 hours and you guys send us home.
I know. Well, you need your social security, you need ID and what type of income that you have. If you're going to school, you need your 1098-T. That's the document that will say that you're in school and how much you're getting for tuition and grant. If you have your 401k, you need your 1099 for the 401k if you withdrew money from that. So basically, that's a good question. If there is a good tax preparer, they will ask you several questions because you don't know all the documents that you need, And recently, the proof of insurance, because now the IRS wants all the insurance provider to give a proof of insurance.
What insurance?
Health insurance.
Health insurance for taxes?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's the law. They want everybody to have health insurance.
Oh, the whole Obama thing?
And this year, if you don't have it, the penalty is $695 per person. I have some client that got it. It is what it is. Yes.
So if you're gonna get a return and you didn't have health insurance, you just lost your money?
Yes. They will. For example, if you're getting a return of $1,000, they're going to subtract $695 from that.
Wait. I think you just broke a lot of hearts tonight. I know some people that don't have health insurance that thought I'll just do it later.
It is what it is.
Is that every state? No, just Florida.
It's every state.
Every state.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. We have a few questions coming in from Facebook.
Okay. Hi.
So you say hi. So Guy Roberts says, why doesn't Florida have state tax? Is that correct?
Yeah, Florida doesn't have state tax, and I don't know that there's this question. I found it like that. Some states have state tax, not Florida, and I'm happy that Florida doesn't have state tax. So don't give them any idea, Guy Robert.
Right, I didn't think I know that, but I'm happy that's the case.
Yes,
they don't have state tax, and they still take so much out of our checks.
No, so try to think about the people in New York. They take double from them because they pay two taxes. They pay the federal tax on their check, and they pay additional tax.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, I may not be complaining about certain things anymore.
Yeah.
Edwin Galami said, when you receive your W-2 from your job, what do you do with it exactly, please?
When you receive the W-2 from your job, this is your proof of income. So you need to bring it to your tax preparer so they can use the information in that W-2 to file your taxes. This is your proof of income, and the employer that gave you the W-2 is going to send a copy to the IRS. So actually this is very good because I had a question like that today. People think they can choose what they want to file the taxes, like I didn't receive the second W-2, can I file it later, or can I choose to pick this one? You don't get to pick because they're going to send their own copy to the IRS, and the IRS will know that you worked and you didn't report it that income, and 2 years later they're going to say you missed that income and audit your taxes.
Yikes.
Yes.
So we were talking about documents to bring when you're coming in. So you went over that. What about newlyweds? You just got married. Now you're filing with your spouse. So how soon after you get married do you have to file with your spouse? And when you do, now what do you bring? Do both of you guys bring your stuff together? And
exactly, that's a very interesting question, because whatever happened up to December 31st, this is what matters for the whole year. So let's say if I got married on December 31st, on January I'm going to file married filing jointly for 2016. If I had a baby in December 31st, in January I'm going to file with my baby. That's the way it goes.
So that's the cutoff date.
Yes.
So guys, you want to file with a baby next year?
Push it.
Push it.
Right.
10 more months to get that together.
Yes.
So we just have another Facebook question from Barbara Faustin.
Oh, Barbara first, then my aunt.
Wow.
Hi.
Barbara, stop cheating the
Thanks
system.
for watching.
You have personal access to her. But she wants to know, what if your insurance was cut mid-year? Is it the same penalty?
That's a very interesting question, because the way they do it, the $695 is for the whole year, but if you have insurance for a certain amount of month, they divide that fee per month. And I have to say exactly what month you had insurance and which month you didn't have insurance. So you get a lesser fee. Yes.
Okay. And since we're talking about fees, so in tax preparers,
oh boy,
fees can range from $75 to whatever, like $100, $300. So how do you, what do you look for as far as the tax preparer fees? Like, what are the fees based on? And how do I know if I walk into a new tax preparer, okay, these fees sound a little outrageous? Or what do you look for?
That's a very difficult question, actually, because there is different business model. For example, there is tax preparer that have a fee per forms, okay, and the other tax preparer that have a fee based on what work they did for you, how much they had to educate you, you know. I definitely think after 600 to 800, that's outrageous. And believe me, there are some people that came and they thought that they were paying $50 and they're paying $2,000. Wow. So be very careful about the we do not do this. It's a free consultation and the fee is disclosed to the fullest. And yeah, I don't like that method. I don't like bait and switch. That's why I never advertise I'm going to do your taxes for $50. No.
Yeah, so when people come in to see you, like, you discuss everything with them at the very beginning.
Exactly. I unfortunately I cannot have a set fee for all a cookie cutter, because some people come here and they really didn't have a clue how to strategize my beautiful French accent anyway. So I just strategize their taxes. There's things that they didn't know that they could have in their taxes. So I spend my time, 1 hour, 2 hours, helping them maybe for the next year have a better refund. So I charge accordingly.
Nice. See, we're liking you more. So another question from Facebook.
Okay.
Carl Christian asks, do we need to see you physically, or can you do it over the phone with us?
Yeah, you can definitely do over the phone. I do over the phone, Skype, FaceTime, Facebook time, you name it. All I need is the document and talking to you. We analyze the taxes together. I give you my advices and I disclose my fees and we go from there. So you don't need to be there physically, because I have clients all over the world.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, you did say that at the beginning.
Yes, in Haiti, Canada, France. Because when you are an American citizen, even if you go in another country, you are supposed to do your taxes.
I was just going to ask you about that. Yeah. So when you mentioned Haiti, I'm like, what if 6 months in the year I move to Haiti?
Exactly.
I still have to file taxes?
Yes, you still have to file taxes.
What if I know I'm going to owe money?
They have a very special tax for the people that's living abroad. That's the whole subject on its own. But they do understand, the IRS do understand that you're living abroad, and they give you a huge discount. So you might not be owing any money at all.
Nice.
Yes.
So with that then, so that must mean you do, I think it's like the electronic deposit. So
yes, everything is done electronically.
These days, are people still even getting checks by mail, or it's all deposits now?
People do get checks by mail, but direct deposit is really the quickest way, and that's what I do here. Rapid refund, 10 business days if there's no delay by the IRS, direct deposit.
And like I get this in the mail all the time, the tax pin.
The identity pin?
Yeah, what is that? What is it for?
Well,
and how come they keep changing it? The
yes.
numbers?
since there was a lot of identity theft, the IRS came up with that system, especially if you're a victim of identity theft. They give you a special PIN. So when you put the taxes in the system, if you don't input that PIN, the system will block the tax from the get-go. They will not accept it. So every year they change the PIN. It's an every year thing to make sure that you're the only person that's filed your own taxes.
Nice. See, that did happen to me. So it couldn't make sense why I'm getting the PIN, but I normally just give everything to my tax preparer, and he just takes care of everything.
Yeah.
Which kind of leads into my next question, because we were just talking about it before we started the interview. There's a lot of people that don't know anything. They just know, like, whoever my mom,
exactly.
use, or whoever my cousin used. My cousin said this guy is great. I'm just going to give my cousin everything and tell him take it to the tax guy and just let me know how much I'm getting.
Well, I have a lot of past clients that just drop their paper, but if I had an advice to give to someone, I would just one time, ask question. Why are you doing this? How come I'm getting that refund? Explain to me, because even though the tax code is difficult, but it's not a magic thing. Someone can explain to you why are you getting that refund. So I would ask that question, because there's a lot, you want to know what's going on in your taxes.
Especially these days.
Yes, especially these days.
So we have another Facebook question. Johanny asks, can you file separate taxes if married, and your husband is not your kid's father, but both have separate incomes?
Can you repeat that question for me?
Can you file separate taxes if you're married? Okay, so I guess her and her husband, but the husband is not the father of the children, and they have separate incomes. So I guess she's married, so do they have to file together?
Yes.
Or separate?
When you're married, you have to file together.
Even though the kids is not.
There is a status called married filing separate. This is the worst status to file ever. The IRS understand that if you marry someone that had a lot of debt and you don't want to be part of that debt, so they allow you to file married filing separate. So me being the wife, I'll have my own tax, and I'm not part of his debt. But because they don't want to encourage this, they take away all your credit. That means you don't get credit for the kids, you don't get credit for the school, because they don't want to encourage you filing separate. And then I want them to understand that if you're filing separate but you're not divorced, it's really have to be separate, like different houses and everything.
So with the kids and the husband not being the kid's father, they can still file as a family with the two.
Yes, because
children?
you're allowed to have as dependent your stepchild. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
But what about the kid's father? Now he can't file with them.
This is usually determined. Okay, usually it's a court order. If you're divorced from a previous union, who's going to claim the kids? And if there is no official order, who's claiming the kids is whoever have the kids living with them for 6 months and 1 day. That's who claim the kids.
Dependents.
Yes.
Let's get some dependent questions. So who can you claim as dependents? I read online, if I want to, I can claim my grandparents. True? Not true?
You can claim your parents.
But not my grandparents.
No. Your niece.
I can claim, but if you claim nieces and nephews, don't you have to have custody or something?
Not custody per se. You have to provide for them. You don't have to have custody, but let's say if they live with you and you provide half of what they need, you have to provide half of what they need. And if you provide that, then you can claim them as a dependent.
And what kind of proof do they ask for? Because we don't want everybody now saying, "Oh goodness, I'm going to go get my neighbor's kid. We're going to split the kid in half."
No, you cannot do that, and you cannot split it in half. By the way, it's only one person that can claim the kid per year.
Oh.
Yeah. There's not half and half. No.
Okay, so the only way I'd be able to claim my grandparents, you're saying, is if they live with me, or let's say I can prove that I'm financially supporting them throughout the year.
But for the parents, it's a little different. For example, let's say if you have your mom in a nursing home, you could be still providing for her and she's not living with you. You still can claim your parents as dependent.
Oh, okay.
It's about providing. It's a case to case, but the IRS has a list of criteria, and they say, okay, if you meet this, you meet that, okay, that's it.
Okay. And another Facebook question. Everyone wants to know, when is the starting date for doing taxes for this year and the due date, please? Does it change every year?
Oh, you missed it. That was January 23rd. You need to call me quick. We submitted, actually, our first client here in taxfit got paid yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
already? In January?
Yeah, we submitted on January 23rd, and some client got paid yesterday. There is a delay for the clients that claiming dependents.
Yeah.
So the IRS issued a press release that they're going to start releasing those refunds on February 18. And I was hoping that they were not going to follow through with that, but unfortunately it looks like they are following through. But the clients that didn't have any dependents, they got paid yesterday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
And so let's talk student credit? Because I've heard this question, and we were actually talking about it the other day with taxes. Like, if you're in school, I guess it's kind of like with the baby and the married thing. If you're in school, like let's say this year and you graduate June, so you will get the school credit this year, or you're not going to get, like, because it ended in June. Like, what qualify you to get that student credit? Because there's people that I've seen graduate middle of the year, and then the following year or year after that, the tax preparer let them still file as a student.
Yes, because first of all, when you file, you're filing the tax for the year before.
Right.
Okay, and if they went to school half of the year, the 1098T is going to say which amount, that you can claim as a student.
Okay, but they wouldn't get the following year, just that.
No, like, if they were a student up to June 2016, so in January 2017, they will file the tax of 2016 and be a student. But in 2018, they will no longer be a student. Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
So they have to go back to school to get that credit again. Okay.
Yes, a forever student.
So another Facebook question. Oh, sweetie, I'm going to mess up your name. Don't be mad. I'm going to try. Andre. I think that
Hi,
right.
Andre.
So I have 2 young college students, and we currently have outstanding student loans. Can I claim the student loans amount on my taxes? I am head of household.
Can you repeat that question?
I have 2 young college students, and we currently have outstanding student loans.
Okay.
So she wants to know, can she claim the student loans on her taxes?
Yeah, what she can claim is the interest paid on the loan. And they will also send her a document called the 1098E. That's talking about the interest paid on student loan. So if the people are her dependent, because I think she's talking about she has 2 dependents. Yeah, she can put it on her taxes if she's still claiming them as a dependent.
Okay. So, but if they're already in school and they're kind of filing their own taxes, she can't?
No.
Okay.
If they have a part-time job, yeah, it has to be her dependent.
Okay, I mean they can't file. They have to let her file. Okay, so Samantha's asking, for someone who makes over 80 grand a year with 2 dependents, one including my mom, why is it that I still end up owing taxes?
Because it depends how you file the W-4, okay? Some people, that document is so confusing. The W-4, people put so much deduction, 1, 2, 3, really you should put 0. So you're not paying enough taxes. And I want to tell you that when you have dependent, this is a deduction. You get a deduction, but the real credit is for low income people. So $80,000, you're not getting zilch. Okay? It is what it is.
Yikes. saying zilch. I know a lot of my business and entrepreneurs that might be getting zilch this year because they started businesses and stuff. So how soon after you start a business do you have to file taxes? And if so, what do you file? Because I know a lot of my friends say, oh, you don't have to file taxes the first year you start your business. You don't have to pay that stuff. You have 2 years where you have to pay taxes when you have a business.
That's not true. you need to file taxes the first year. What can happen is it is very likely that the first year a business do not generate income or is at a loss. So that will depend what type of corporation you have. If it's an LLC, you can put it in your personal taxes. If it's a corporation, they would have to have a standalone tax and give you a K1. Sorry, I'm getting technical.
No,
but yeah,
you say it. We can Google it.
Yeah,
no, it's good. Tell us what it is. We'll Google it.
Okay, so but you do have to file taxes the first year you're in business. Now that doesn't mean that you're gonna owe the IRS money. Maybe you're at a loss, okay, and you don't need to pay any money. But yes, you need to file taxes the very first year.
Awesome. We have a few people that's just tuning in, and
hi everybody.
They're saying you're very knowledgeable. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So if they're just tuning in, let everyone know again who you are, the name of your business, and where you're located.
Okay, I am Karoll-Ann for Fun. I'm the owner of taxfit. We are located in Miami, Florida, 8910 Miami, Florida, first floor, suite 110, and southwest corner of Douglas Road and Hiatus.
And your phone number if they want to call you?
754-423-4234.
One more time with the phone number. They always ask me twice.
754-423-4234.
Awesome.
754-423-4234.
Yes. So Esther wants to know if my... Oh, no. Okay, so Esther says, if my 16-year-old worked for $1,000 and paid $80 in taxes, what should I do?
What age is the kid? What age is the
16?
kid? 16. Okay, so she has a part-time job. Esther, you still claim her on your taxes, okay? And then she also gonna have to do her taxes, but she has to say on her tax that you claiming her, and she will get her little $80 back. Hey, it's $80. I do it all the time. Yeah. As a matter of fact, sometime when I do the moms, I just do the kids for free because it's just $80. So I do the taxes to keep everybody together and make sure that the tax is done right.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. Junie just tuned in. She says, you rock, superstar.
Thanks, Junie.
So I know a question that a lot of people probably have now. How do we stay away from getting audited?
Listen.
Tell us.
Okay, you're the honest truth. There is no staying away from getting audited. Let me tell you what the IRS does. Have you ever played bingo?
Yeah.
Okay, so they put all the social security in that big thing.
Yeah.
They shake it, and they said, this year we're going to audit 10,000 people.
You're kidding.
Yep.
That can't be the system.
Yeah, that's the system. And meaning, okay, not literally, but that's the way it is.
Still.
It's random, and they have a number of people that they audit every year. Now, I agree with you. There's a certain things that raise red flags, okay? So immediately if they see that, yes, they're going to audit you, but telling you that you're never going to be audited, that's a lie. Sometimes they audit you, you don't even know. They said, okay, she's okay, and they don't say anything. But everybody at one point, you are being audited. I'm sorry for the bad news.
I did not. I thought it was like, okay, the tax preparer did something bad.
No.
Now you got me in trouble. You got the IRS looking at me, or they looking at you, and now you got them looking at me. So you're telling me sometimes people get audited, it has absolutely nothing to do with the tax preparer?
No, actually, that's when I started to really, when I do the taxes, detail everything to my client, because I want them to know what's going on. So if they receive an audit, they understand exactly what was going on. Anything can trigger an audit.
Wow.
And they randomly audit. They have an amount to audit every year, randomly.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not your fault, so we can't be mad at you.
The thing is, you need a tax preparer that knows, that have experience, that knows even if something is true, is it going to be a red flag? For example, I had a guy that came to my office and he was audited. It's because he put 30,000 miles like as his business mile. And he was like, Karoll-Ann, I swear I drove those miles. I'm like, yes, but even if you drove those miles, I would have never put those miles because I know the IRS is going to say 30,000 miles. Right. So you need a tax preparer that know what's going to cause a red flag and that can guide you, because not anything that qualify you're supposed to put it.
Even if he didn't?
Hey, he got who did it because of that, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So I can't drive 30,000 miles to get my money. Okay, but no, that totally makes sense. So even like talking about the auditing part, and now especially in South Florida, there's been, I mean, like tax season now. There's 1 million people that do taxes now. You see all the social network posts, all the Instagram ads. Everybody's saying, my new cousin is doing taxes now. Don't go to Karoll-Ann anymore. Go over here and do this. So what should these people be looking at with all of these new tax preparers coming up, and with so much fraud that's going on now with people stealing people's identities and stuff? What can we do to protect ourselves? Like my little sister's in school. So her whole thing is, since December, she was like, I'm going to be standing in the mailbox because I can't afford for anyone to steal my identity. People think like people are standing at your mailbox waiting to steal your identity. No. So give us some information on that.
If I was a random citizen and I was going to a new tax preparer, you're looking for transparency, okay? You want someone, like when my clients come here, they can look at my screen. I do the tax while they're sitting here with them or over the phone. So you want transparency. You want someone that has knowledge and that can explain you why they're doing what. That's what I will look for, you know?
Right.
Because some people they don't want you there. Give me your documents. And
what about all the people that are giving gifts? Come file with me. I'll give you a new radio.
It's okay. I give gifts too. You can do that. There's nothing illegal about giving gifts. It's just an appreciation, a nice gesture.
Okay. And Emma says she is awesome with like 3 exclamations. She loves you.
Hi Emma, I love you too.
So Princess Yubi says, can you file for someone out of state?
Say that again.
Can you file for someone out of state? I'm guessing she means a dependent, an out of state dependent, but it's still a dependent, right? So
yes, maybe because you have a kid that's going to college. Well, as long as you provide half what they need and you support them, the kids that are going away to college, you still can claim them, even though they are out of state. So yes, if she's talking about that.
Okay. And it says, I read something about eligibility for child tax. It says you can claim an additional $1,000 credit for each dependent under the age of 17 if you meet income and support. So is that like something completely different outside of what you would already get?
No, it's just a bunch of people do not know that the credit that you get for the kids is separate in 2 credits, actually. There is one credit that is an amount, for one kid, $3,373, and then there's another credit that's called a child credit, which is $1,000 per kid, you know? Okay. So under 17 years old. So when they reach 17, they lose that $1,000 and you continue with the other one.
Okay. Now this is a question I've had, because I've had to do this in the past. So what advice would you give to like young Haitian American kids who have parents or grandparents that doesn't really speak English and their Creole is not that great, and then they have to like take care of tax stuff for them, and you know, making sure like they're doing the right things, like what to ask their grandparents for? You should suggest they come in with the parent, like, because a lot of kids just take the information and say, oh, I'm filing taxes for my grandparents.
Yeah. Well, that's actually very interesting. A lot of people do not know that when you're retired, if you only receive your retirement, which is the SSA form, you don't need to file your taxes anymore. And a lot of people charge those people to come and do their taxes. If it's only the retirement income that you have no side job, you only have that retirement, so you don't need to file the taxes for your grandparent. You don't. They're good.
Good information.
Yes.
Good information. I'm going to have to go check that myself. I have to go check that. So Estim says, is charging someone $300 normal for taxes just for a 1040?
Again, that depends on the model of the business. So, but $300 seems reasonable. What I don't like is $1,000, $2,000. Oh, that's outrageous. Charging someone $2,000. it's like sharing with them their refund. Come on.
Right.
Okay.
So Marie says, I missed one of my W-2 forms from 2015. When I filed 2016, I received a letter from IRS saying that I have to pay back $1,500.
Exactly.
Can I bring my tax preparer the paper to show them that I did pay $1,500 back?
Okay. Everything that happened in a year is the year. What you can do is, before you had paid that money, you should have bring that W-2 that you received late to your tax preparer, and maybe they could have fixed it where you didn't have to pay anything. I do that all the time. But if they're going to file 2016, that has nothing to do with 2015 that you paid or not paid. That's not part of your 2016. Every year has to do with the year that they're doing. Yes. So if you pay, great, but you could have take back the tax to the tax preparer, and they could have analyzed it, correct the tax, put the W-2 that was missing, and try to prevent you to pay back money.
Oh no. All right, Marie, sorry. So
well, it's not too late. You have 3 years to do that.
Oh, okay, so you
can still try to ask your tax preparer. Or come here at taxfit.
Okay, come
we'll review it for you.
Take care of it for you.
Yeah.
So Nadej Ambrose says, my daughter works for $11,000. She wanted to file with her little brother. Is that going to affect her financial aid for school?
No. That's not going to affect her financial. No, that's not going to affect it.
So she can go ahead and do it.
But she provide for the little brother?
I hope that's what the case is.
That's the main question.
So Nadej, we're making sure we have already said that we talked about the question whether or not she's actually providing for baby brother.
Yes, yes.
Okay, don't say the Haitian American.
We want to be technical.
She said I do. So
okay. Perfect.
All right.
Yeah, so follow away.
So we have Patricia Deserel that says 4 p.m. appointment still pending. So I'm assuming she has an appointment with you.
Hi, Patricia. Okay.
So everyone's telling you thank you right now. So with that being said, I don't have any questions. I don't see any other questions coming up. Do you have any final words or anything that you'd like to tell us, or advice that we need to know about this particular year?
Yes.
Does the new president has anything to do with our taxes? Yes, no.
I stay away from that. But I will say that there's already a lot of scam going out. If I had a few pointers that I have to give, they're already calling people on the phone saying they are the IRS. And I want to reiterate, the IRS will never call you first. They have to send you an official letter. That's one. They're receiving call where people telling them you need to pay tomorrow. One of my clients received a call where they said, if you don't pay by tonight, you're going to jail tomorrow. Ooh. This is a scam. The IRS will never tell you that you need to pay tomorrow. They have a number of letters that they have to send to you first. And that takes years, okay? So they will never give you a call and say you're going to jail tomorrow. So there's a lot of scam going on. And if you really want to know about it, you just go on the IRS website, www.irs.gov, and they have a list of people scamming, email, calling people, making you pay, going to send money to the Western Union. They will never do that. Do not panic. The IRS always give you the opportunity to defend yourself, okay? So they will never come, you owe me money, pay me now. They will say, we don't understand this on your taxes. Can you explain? That's the first letter that they will send, okay?
Ah.
Yes,
So that's something then that, you know, especially Haitians or like old, you know, our older parents or that probably don't know. Like I have parents that freak out for anything.
Exactly.
I feel so bad.
Oui, exactement. C'est ça qui veut crier ça. Elle m'a crié. You va l'arrêter le demain. I'm saying no, no.
So that is actually very good information.
Yes.
I'm glad you went over
You have
that.
rights. You have rights, and do not be scared. If you receive a letter, you have rights. Just look into it, or look for a professional that can look into it for you. Do not panic first, okay?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. We see other questions coming in, but now they're going to have to call you to get these questions answered. So once again, thank you so much for meeting with today. We know your schedule is busy. It's tax season, and we're so thankful you took time out to talk to us today and educate us. We learned a lot from you. People are excited and happy that you're able to answer their questions, so we appreciate you.
Yes, here we give free consultation. So if you want us to review something for you, it's free and you gain some knowledge. 754-423-4234. You were going to ask for that?
Yeah, exactly, guys. So see, there you go. If you have more questions, I see the questions coming up. One more time, name, business, phone number.
Karoll-Ann Fafan, 8910 Miramar Parkway, first floor, suite 110, and 754-423-4234.
Thank you.